Guys, my name's Danny. My partner and I moved into a camper van, which I built roughly around 2 months ago, just over 2 months ago. We gave up our businesses in the UK. I was a self-employed carpenter, but I've been building camper vans for the last sort of 3 years. My partner is a psychotherapist, supervisor, counsellor, and we decided to give it all up. And we've left the UK. Our kids are all sort of self-sufficient, living on their own. But you might ask, why did we do this? And the reason we did it is because this journey that we've been on, probably our whole lives, and you've probably been on the same journey or a similar one, otherwise you wouldn't be watching this video now. But we've come to a very clear realization of how abusive society and the system in which we live in is, and how there's a pattern of abuse and trauma being passed on from generation to generation. I mean, literally from the moment that we're born, we're taken away from our secure attachment, our mothers, and we have a series of tests run on us. We're first put into a cold steel pan to be weighed. Now imagine the shock on a newborn baby. Then we have cold steel rods run up our feet to see if our toes curl. And this is done in the name of medicine, saying that we need to have these tests done. And then your babies are vaccinated. I mean, I do believe in vaccines to a certain point, but not the way that they're distributed in this day and age, and the way the pharmaceutical companies work. I don't actually think I've had any vaccines other than a tetanus. Anyway, that's a different story. So the system which we live in is a very carefully designed prison, which uses shame to trap us. Society is the foundation of the system, and it's what holds the system together. We really saw this with the lockdown over the COVID period, and we saw how neighbours started policing each other. But this just shows you how society strengthens this abusive system. And if you didn't follow the rules, or you didn't believe what everybody else is saying, if you dared to speak out, you were accused of being uncaring, dangerous, and a conspiracy theorist. Now, when we actually look at what happened over that period, and this is just one period, this is just an example, because COVID was just one thing. Like, if you look through history, there's been so many other things, like religion. If you didn't believe in God and you're going to burn for eternity in hell, and this and that. In medieval times, look at how we treated women, which we called witches, because maybe they were going off grid a little bit, using herbal medicines. Maybe they were in touch with nature, using the moon cycles and astrology and things like this. So what was their reward? They were either dunked in water, and if they survived that, then they were burnt. But yeah, this is how our society has worked, like since probably almost the beginning of time, like as far back as our so-called history recollects it. But COVID made me realise, like, that whole era, nothing's changed. And the system is just as abusive now as it was then. And I don't want to be a part of that system anymore. I'm kind of done with it. But what made me see things so clearly was through getting my own counselling, doing my own research, doing yoga every day, doing certain mental and activities every day, doing what they call shadow work, so working through my own trauma, And as I worked through my own trauma, I mean, for years I kind of blamed my parents and said, oh, they didn't do this right, they didn't do that right, they were never there for me. I was an extremely sensitive child, and being labelled ADHD, I was probably, I would have been accused of being a real handful. I was shamed on a massive level, and I'm 47 years old now. I'm just starting to recover from that shame now, and I can help you recover from yours, hopefully much quicker. I mean, kids are so much more advanced than we are, but I've been doing parts therapy for the last few years, and just getting the tools to be able to recognise when I'm triggered, what part's being activated, and how to be present and loving with myself. Society, if you don't fit right into society, and you can't follow the rules, it doesn't mean you're a bad person. It just means you know that something is seriously not right. It creates this massive core belief that you're an outcast, which keeps you living in fight or flight. So you're in a constant state of survival. It takes a lot of work to be able to work through all these fragmented parts and learn to trust and love yourself, okay? And if you follow me, I'm going to hopefully take you on a journey of healing, okay? But also, I'm hoping to take you on an exciting journey, because to get out of this system, like I said earlier, I built a completely off-grid camper van, which we've been living in. We don't want to stay forever living in a camper van. We need our space, and we like too many luxuries in life. But we do want to be completely off-grid, okay? And I'd like you to follow us on our journey to getting from where we are now to being completely self-sufficient off-grid. It's been pretty tough at times. There's been some really funny times, but anything that comes up as well, I'm going to share with you what comes up, how I'm working through it, and how to integrate that. So just being there for yourself and healing from the abusive, traumatic damage from society. Okay? Stay tuned, guys, and keep following me.